Hey, what's going on, movie lovers? I'm Jeff.
I'm Kyle.
And we are Shut Up, I Like This, the podcast where we talk about how much we like movies and we don't shit on film because we like stuff.
And that's also messy.
Which
you
is...
can make quite a mess. You can shit all over film.
And,
you should preserve that 35mm print.
If you can find that.
No shit.
No shit.
I've got a few previews, 35mm previews at home.
Do you still?
Yeah, from when I worked in theater. Yeah, like Transformers and shit like that.
That's funny.
Just cool ones I just kept because they used to...
You should put it in like a case, put it on your wall or something.
Yeah.
Something.
They're just in a box because, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what happens.
When your house catches on fire, that'll be the first thing.
To go, probably. That shit's fucking flammable.
Yeah. So today is episode number 42.
Nice.
Rolling along, kind of sticking to the same scheme we were last week.
We get on little
we
get on little kicks of stuff where we're like
officially we did our DC month and our Disney month, but throughout there you'll find like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks where we just kind of stick to the same thing. Because as you're watching something, you're like it reminds you like, oh shit, we should watch that.
Yeah.
And even while we were watching this, it made us think of something else. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But this week's episode 42, talking about the Scorpion King 2002, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's first leading role.
Very cool.
And that really leads to a whole slew of success and notoriety, and now he's the world's biggest superstar.
He's the what do they call him? The franchise reviver,
right?
Or something.
Franchise Viagra.
Yeah, no doubt. He's box office gold. You can stick The Rock in anything now, and it'll essentially turn a profit.
Right.
It was a lot of fun seeing how big he is now. To go back and be like, this is basically where he started.
Right.
And just to see how far he's came as an actor and how he gets used. And
yeah, and I definitely want to talk. I mean, like in Scorpion King, I haven't seen Rampage, but I assume Rampage, Doom. It's more of just him being The Rock, you know, like just being that charismatic, buff dude.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some more of his serious dramatic roles later.
Sure.
I think he really nails, and he can do it. But just like
Walking
stuff like
Tall.
this, Walking Tall. But stuff like Scorpion King, Rundown is probably one of my favorite Rock movies.
Gridiron Gang.
Yes. Porter.
Yeah.
Is the name of the coach.
Yeah. Yep.
Porter. But it's just they're just fun to watch. They're just enjoyable. Like The Rundown, anytime it's on, we'll watch The Rundown. It's just a fun movie.
He's had such an interesting career because I remember early on, like Scorpion King, Mummy 2, like the first time he showed up.
Yeah.
In a film.
Yeah.
He was kind of like a lot of people downplayed and made fun of him, like, oh, it's just The Rock, that's just the WWF guy, like he'll never he'll never have a career.
WWF children.
Yeah, he'll never have a career like that. Was kind of the attitude towards him, and he had some bombs early on.
That whole idea is kind of ridiculous because they're performers,
right?
You know, like that's what they do. They literally perform for people. Why would it be different on a screen?
You and I get that. I mean, some of them are better than others.
Silly.
Like,
right?
What was the?
I want to talk about Stone Cold later too because he's got some films.
The Condemned.
The Condemned
is good.
Manu Bennett is on there. Yeah, I like that movie.
I always thought he was really good in Adam Sandler remake of The Longest Yard.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah. He plays one of the security guards in that
There's
one.
like 20 wrestlers.
Yeah, I know.
That's a fun movie.
I know Goldberg and Kevin Nash.
The Great Khali.
The Great Khali was in that one before he was in WWF.
What?
That was before he was in WWF.
Oh, my God.
He was in that one. Because I remember when he showed up on TV, I was like, that's the guy from The Longest Yard.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy to think about.
That just blew my mind. What were we talking about?
We're talking about how it's cool to watch his transition.
Great Khali wasn't a wrestler until like 06, 07?
I think.
Holy cow.
I wasn't watching as much then, but I think.
That's so weird.
We're talking about how it's cool to watch The Rock's career
right.
go from like a guy that a lot of people kind of like pushed off, and that's just a wrestler, to being Hobbs in the Fast and the Furious, and taking over that fucking franchise from Vin Diesel. Like, they are kicking Vin Diesel out of his own franchise, seriously, and and with the spinoffs with The Rock, and
oh yeah, there's a lot of buzz about that with him and Statham, and
yeah, like they're getting their own spinoffs.
Tyrese Gibson's all pissed off about it.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
That's
so it's interesting how far he's came as an actor and just like a force at the box office.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But like in Scorpion King, it seems obvious though. I mean, even his first role,
doesn't it?
He's very charismatic.
Yeah.
Carries the role, and he really buys into what they're trying to do. Like, he just says, yeah, this is what we're doing.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
Yep.
And I think he's great.
Yeah.
I love him as Scorpion King. So I just want to run through the cast real quick, because I think I mentioned last week or whenever it was that we were going to do this, and I like the bad guy, Memnon, who's played by Stephen Brand. Here you go. He's in Hellraiser Revelations. He's a Hellraiser guy. I really like him. He's on television a lot, and even if he's in a show for like 2 or 3 episodes, it just makes those episodes better. I really like Stephen Brand.
Cool.
Michael Clark Duncan, of course.
Hey, he was an awesome actor.
He was incredible.
It's sad that he's not with us. He was so enjoyable in Armageddon.
Yes.
Or, The Green Mile, obviously, is probably the one a lot of people will recognize him in. I enjoyed him as Kingpin.
So did I.
Yeah, in Daredevil. And if you guys have only seen the theatrical cut of Daredevil, check out the director's cut, because the director's cut has a whole bunch of scenes and a whole fucking subplot that they cut from the movie, where suddenly you put this back and you're like, the movie makes sense now. Yeah, so check out the director's cut of Daredevil.
Agree. Yeah, everything except for the skin color. He comes down, he's King. That's the big thing.
Yeah, and even that, I'm like, whoa.
Kingpin's not black. It's like everything else, he fits perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like, get the fuck over it.
Oh, Sin City. Remember when he was in Sin City? He had the gold eye.
Yep. Yeah. Fucking
a lot of cool parts. I miss him. He
was fucking demanding, and his voice.
So
holy
deep.
Shit. He's like, oh man, like in Armageddon, he's a big teddy bear. Like, I just want a big Michael Clark Duncan hug.
Yeah. He was one of my favorite characters in
cool.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
And in general as an actor.
For sure. Yeah, I love Michael Clark Duncan. He was awesome. Kelly Hu is the sorceress. She's in a show that I really like. She's an Arrow.
I need to get into that.
X2, she is Lady Deathstrike.
Okay.
That's Kelly Hu.
I like that. That's a nice pull.
Yeah, Arrow. You need to watch Arrow.
I know. I get intimidated when there's a lot of seasons of a show.
Dude, I know. And there's 23 episodes
per season. That's like a pretty big commitment.
So I talk about this all the time, but I started 2 seasons afterwards. So I had 2 seasons to watch. And within 2 weeks, I watched 46 episodes, which I counted out was like a total of like 40 some hours.
Yeah.
Because they're like 40, 50 minutes piece. So within 2 weeks, like, this was when I was by myself. I had everything else better to do.
No kids.
I would go to no kids.
Yeah.
I'd go to work. I was working split, so I'd go to work 8 to 2, come back, watch a couple episodes of Arrow, go to work. That night, watch 4 or 5 more episodes. So I was talking about, I watched 2 seasons of Arrow within like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Shit.
It was like nothing but Arrow.
Yeah.
And I think those are the first 2 are the 2 best seasons.
Okay.
I think. Not that the other ones aren't bad, but holy crap.
I know I'd like it if I started watching it.
I think you would.
Same with
Flash,
Flash.
of course,
I started watching Flash and I really liked it. But
we were like, I think we started season 3 and then we just kind of we lost track. And now we're like really behind.
It happens, and you get behind, and it gets difficult to catch up. But I know Kevin Smith has done a couple Flash episodes, and he talks about that.
Yep.
Supergirl.
Yeah, I want to watch Supergirl too.
I know.
There's too much shit.
There's too much. There's too much content, and then when you start getting into creating content,
it's even worse.
It gets more difficult because
you're trying to focus on your content,
but you want to consume all the other shit that's out there too.
It's rough. I I don't know how people do it.
Plus, you just want to lay back and play Madden or whatever. And,
Right.
Yeah.
I always say that Madden's my therapy, especially like, because like I'll work and then I have like a couple nights I pick up. I work in the kitchen still, and then by the time I get home, kids are asleep. Like I just play a game of Madden and go to bed. Like that's how I go to sleep. I can't go to sleep unless I play a game of Madden.
Go to sleep pissed off because you threw an interception. Fucking Madden cheated me.
And then I could not figure this out until the end of the film. So in the beginning, the people who hire the Arcadians to kill the sorceress, his like the prince that like kills his father and stuff.
The beheads
the
older guy.
I wrote down Traitor Dick.
Yeah.
So that guy is Peter, I think it's Ficellini. Okay, so the first time is he's the dad in the vampire dad in Twilight. So I think that's where a lot of people know him from. I noticed this dickhead from the 90s movie Can't Hardly Wait, where he's a dickhead in there as well. But it's weird seeing him like in that and this. I think this was in probably like 4 years of each other, that film and this film. And then he's in Twilight as the dad, like a dad. He's like, it's weird because I still think of him as like a high schooler.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden he's somebody's dad. I don't know. I don't know. I recognize him like everywhere now.
That's cool.
Ever since fucking Twilight. I don't know. Same thing with Kellen Lutz.
Who's that?
Yeah. He was just in like The Legend of Hercules.
Was that the newer one?
Not the Rock one.
Not the Rock one, but the...
Came out like 14, 15.
I've always meant to watch that. Is that good?
I don't know. I just know he's in there.
Yeah.
Expendables 3. He's like one of the younger guys.
Sure.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
First time I saw him, I was in fucking Twilight when I was fucking forced to watch Twilight. So those are kind of the main casts I want to talk about.
It was an interesting cast. I thought, of course they had The Rock and Michael Clark Duncan. I always want to say Michael Duncan Clark. And in my mind, I know that's not right, and I can never spit it out correctly.
I just started writing MCD.
Yeah, those were your stars. I thought they did a good job of rounding out the rest of the cast with people who were capable, but maybe not names that you recognize.
Kelly Hu, Stephen Brand,
Sure. These are not names that you put on posters that attract star power, but they were all good. Like, there wasn't anyone in the movie that I pointed to and was like, that's a bad performance.
Right.
And
the Scorpion King. You would kind of expect that almost.
Yes.
Right? It's almost like...
There was a point that I wanted to bring up about remembering this movie being way shittier than what it actually was.
Yeah.
And you know what I think the problem is? You remembered that shitty CGI scene...
With the fire ants?
And no. In The Mummy 2, with The Rock...
Well, that's what you remembered.
Yes.
Where he comes out as an actual scorpion.
An actual scorpion. I thought that was this movie. That's not this movie. And I wonder how many other people have got that bad connection in their mind of thinking Scorpion King, that was that shitty CGI Rock movie. That's not this.
Right.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is better than the Scorpion King that was in The Mummy 2.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That's not this.
Right.
This is good.
Yeah, they're two different things.
Two different movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people that
remember that.
That remember it. You remember it wrong. Because I did that. I remembered it wrong. I thought that was this movie.
Yeah, he shows up at the end of Mummy Returns for like 5-10 minutes and then gets killed.
Yeah, and it's awful.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing that people remember. That's funny.
Yep.
And then one other thing with the cast I wanted to point out right at the beginning, when he goes to rescue his brother, kind of the main, I would say, bad guy in that scene. I recognized him, the big tall guy with the fucked up eye.
Yeah, he was cool.
Tyler Mane.
My God.
It makes sense
I
now.
didn't fucking look that up, but I was sitting there seriously this whole movie going, is that Tyler Mane? Which, if you guys don't know, Tyler Mane played Sabretooth in the original X-Men films. He was Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween reboot. I was fucking thinking that was Tyler Mane.
Yeah.
And on IMDb, he doesn't show up.
Yeah, probably not at all.
Unless you go probably clear back in the thing, which I never did.
The only thing is, I get instant gratification from this is when I watch stuff on Amazon.
Yeah.
It has that thing called Amazon X-ray. So if you pause it, everything comes up on the side. Who's in the scene?
Oh, that's
comes
cool.
up with their little mini IMDb profile. So I'm like, is that Tyler Mane? I clicked pause. Tyler Mane. Like, woo! I gave myself a point even though it didn't mean anything because I was like, I knew it.
That's neat.
It's really. It brings me back
He's
to
good.
Another movie. I think maybe I did with Brian. I think Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, you did Devil's Rejects with Brian, and I'm secretly mad at you for that.
Tyler Mane is in that as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Tyler Mane's popped up a lot.
Yeah.
And he's always, he's just like in there for 10 minutes.
Yep.
But you instantly kind of recognize him. I don't know, I thought that was awesome.
That's cool. I'm glad that you pointed that out.
Yeah,
I didn't quite know that, but I'm like...
you recognize it.
Yeah.
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 You see him and you're like, I fucking know you.
We're the only people that get excited for fucking Tyler Mane.
Tyler Mane, woo!
Yeah. You should make like a little clip of how excited we just got and tweet that to him.
Tyler Mane!
And tweet it to him.
Yeah.
He'd probably enjoy that because I really do like his work.
So do I. I hope Tyler Mane shows up. And I like Rob Zombie Halloween.
Yeah,
we should see how that gets on Rotten Tomatoes.
Part 2, I don't want to get on too much of a side tangent, but part 2 was a little iffy in
I don't
places.
think I've seen part 2.
In places.
We
can talk about that later if we do it.
We should look up the first Halloween though.
I like the first
Rob
Halloween.
Zombie, yeah.
I've seen that bitch in theaters opening weekend. That was fucking cool.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
And then, okay, that's for another topic. We'll talk
we gotta
about
not
later.
sidetrack. We gotta stay on topic of Scorpion
When he
King.
breaks into that stall, that black guy.
Ken Free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh. So funny. Okay.
I remember really quick. I was in a pretty packed theater, and there were like some kids that were way too young, that were at the front of the theater, and they were doing a lot of laughing, a lot of making fun of the movie. And then there's that really brutal scene at the beginning where young Michael Myers picks up like a tree branch.
Oh yeah.
And beats the shit out. I think he kills someone with it.
Yeah.
I remember that shut him up. It's like they were like, oh, laughing and making fun of the beginning of the film, and then that scene was like, oh
shit, what are we here for?
Yeah, you didn't hear shit from him after that point.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, director Chuck Russell.
What's Chuck done?
Chuck has done 1994's The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Really?
Yep.
That's odd.
You'll like this one, Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Okay. That was Dream Warrior, wasn't it?
Isn't Dream Warrior the second one?
No.
Is the third one?
I thought third one's Dream
Okay, yeah.
Third Warrior's Dream Warrior.
Yeah, because the first one's good, second one's like, and then
third one's the one at the pool.
Yeah, Dream Warrior's like, yeah.
Dream Warriors is like the Nightmare sequel.
Right.
So that's pretty good credit for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blob, 88.
I don't know if I've ever seen that
I don't think I've seen the Blob remake. And then Eraser. Arnold Schwarzenegger and...
Oh! I've got that one on DVD. I bought it at the pawn shop. I'm not sure if I've ever actually watched it.
With the railgun?
I don't know, because I don't think I've ever seen it.
Who did? Maybe I talked to Brian about that then. Because I've brought up Eraser on the show before.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch Eraser.
Check it out. I mean, I've got it on
it's
DVD.
Dumb. There's one really bad thing with the crocodile, but you can get past it.
Whatever. Fuck it.
So yeah, those are kind of some of his bigger credits. And I was like, yeah, those kind of stand out, and this kind of fits that mold of kind of like Eraser and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, like Scorpion King.
What a weird series of films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mask, Nightmare on Elm Street, Eraser, and Scorpion King. Yeah, it's a little varied. And then something that I really, really like is this was written by Stephen Sommers, who did Mummy Returns, and he also has done G.I. Joe and Van Helsing.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Which I think is why I really like I fucking like Van Helsing.
Van Helsing is low-key good.
I like Van Helsing.
I think so.
It's on Netflix right now. Just saying.
We should check it out.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I like Van Helsing. So Stephen
Hugh
Sommers
Jackman,
did that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that movie.
You've got me. That's all you. I'm easy.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
I like that movie. But we kind of mentioned Scorpion King just kind of fits into the universe of The Mummy, and it helps that it was written by the same bugger who wrote the Mummy movies.
He gets it. Honestly, I thought that this fit better in the Mummy universe than Tomb of the Dragon Emperor did.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a better movie.
Yeah,
than that one.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
What year did this come out?
2002.
Why does Scorpion King look more recent and it came out in 2002 than what Dragon Emperor did that came out in 2008.
Yeah.
I
know, right?
I don't
It's
get it.
weird.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's like
weird.
you watch...
I wonder who wrote Tomb of the Emperor King, though. I wonder if it was still Stephen Sommers. Maybe that's why it felt so different.
It can't possibly be. Do you want me to look it up really quick?
Yeah, sure. Maybe that's why it felt so different. I don't know. See, while you're doing that, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Actors is Ralph Moeller. He played Thorak. He was the guy that led them into like that cave during the Desert Storm. Ralph Moeller is in Gladiator, and
any of those guys look familiar to you?
He was uncredited. I wonder if he went through it or something, or
maybe they have to.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
Is that some kind of weird thing where it's like it's based?
First of all, there's 4 writers, so that's not good.
Yeah.
2 of them are uncredited, so.
Alfred, what's his name? Alfred
Go
and Miles
Millar. So I almost wonder if Stephen Sommers started it and then dropped out.
God, this Alfred Go. He was a fucking writer on 2002 Sam Raimi's Spider-Man film.
Well, he did a shit-ass job with Tomb of the Emperor King, Dragon Emperor.
He did I Am Number 4.
Yeah.
He was a Smallville guy. Oh. He was a writer on Into the Badlands.
Really?
He's got some credit.
Well, maybe he should have sidestepped.
Oh, that canceled Aquaman.
Huh. That's interesting.
Huh. The other dude, let's see what the other dude did. Same thing.
He was on probably partners.
Smallville, Spider-Man, I Am Number 4, Into the Badlands.
Yeah, they're probably partners.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fucking Shanghai Nights.
Oh, I like those movies.
Yeah, I kind of... Shanghai Noon.
Yeah, those are good movies.
What's that awesome quote from Shanghai Noon about Piss Rag Ben Bar?
Yeah.
I don't quite remember how it goes.
Yeah.
But
no, you said...
whatever he says, not Piss Rag.
No, you said wet don't break, not piss shirt Ben Bar. Right.
Come on, guys. Owen Wilson is amazing. Why does the internet hate him so much?
I think they embrace him.
Do they? Because I think a lot of people make fun of him. But I think he's good.
Wow. I like those videos where they just replace sounds with wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just pretty entertaining stuff.
There'll be 2 cats and they'll just be going back and forth. Wow. Wow, we're way off topic. Well, I was talking about Ralph Moeller. Thorak, guy that leads the dozen dudes into that cave during the sandstorm. He's in Gladiator, Batman and Robin. He was one of the main... Okay. He sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff, which is funny because in 90... It was around the time of, I want to say, Xena and Hercules was on. They had that event, Conan the Barbarian Adventures. Mm-hmm. He was Conan, which is kind of funny.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Ralph Moeller shows up and he's just kind of... He's like Tyler Mane. You're just like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
So that kind of rounds out those credits. There was so much to talk about that I had to bring it up.
I think it's a solid cast.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about... we're going to do the Rotten Tomatoes real quick.
Sure.
Again, this is just us going, yeah, we should do that one without really looking at it.
Yeah.
So the Rotten Tomato score is 41%. The audience score is 37%.
So critics liked it more.
4% more than the audience, which is, I think that's 2002 talking. I think if people went back and watched it, that'd be a bit higher. I think that's kind of the issue that we run into a lot with a lot of these early 2000 films. Internet was still...
Right. And who in 2018 is going on Rotten Tomatoes and reviewing The Scorpion King?
I think I'm going to start. I think I'm going to make a Rotten Tomatoes count, because can't anybody review stuff?
Yeah.
Every movie we do, I'm just going to go 100% was the greatest film I ever saw. Just to balance it out.
I liked this movie, link to the podcast.
Exactly, there we go. Then those other 2 assholes going through like, fuck these guys. Hey, this guy liked it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's an 1.5-hour episode about it.
I'm glad you said that, though. I think that this movie has aged
pretty well.
Better I think that you can go back and you will probably like this movie in 2018 more than you liked it in 2002.
For sure. And if not for anything, just to watch The Rock.
Isn't it odd the way that happens sometimes? But
yeah.
Occasionally there are films that are better years later than maybe what you thought they were when they first came out.
That's kind of I'm going to get shot for this. When Batman Begins came out in 2005, I was younger. Don't crucify me.
I know where you're going with this.
I thought, I know how Batman Begins.
Right.
You know, I don't need to see it again. And then when I was a little bit older, about the time that Dark Knight came out, I was like, okay, that looks awesome. Let me rewatch Batman Begins. So it was probably 3 years later.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, what a great movie. It might have just been because, like I said, I was a little bit younger, but who the fuck needed another Batman Begins? You know what I mean?
Because as big Batman fans,
I've seen it so many times.
Talking about origin stories that I never really need to see again, Spider-Man and Batman are 1A and 1B in that category, and so I know what you mean. When they announced Batman Begins, I remember thinking the same thing. Like, I really don't
need to see it again.
Need to see it again, although it was...
Yeah, it ended up being a damn good movie.
It is a damn good movie, and you can go back and you will probably...
Yeah, I definitely enjoy watching it more now, for sure, than I did when I was.
I want to do one of my podcasts about the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah.
And the Batman films. So I think we're gonna do one of those coming up.
Sweet.
Coming up soon.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about the actual movie.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Can we do favorite scenes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's kick off. I want to do favorite scenes. Are we still good on recording time and everything?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. My favorite scene, I was like, whoa, this is good. I don't remember this from anything.
Wowza!
Because I was like, legit, like, this was cool. That scene where The Rock is riding on his camel towards all the guys on horseback, and they're like, the sun must have fried his brain. He's going crazy.
That was Ralph Moeller.
Okay, and then there's that sandstorm that comes rolling in behind him and catches up to him and then blinds everyone in front of him. Holy shit, that sequence is fucking good and cool.
Very Mummy-esque.
You can put that on film today.
That'd be cool.
And that would be cool. Like, that is not bad CGI. Like, it is not aged poor. Like, it is, that is fucking cool. I really liked that moment.
I like that stupid thing that he wears over his eyes. Like, it's not really gonna help, but it's a movie and it looks cool.
Yeah.
So,
the part with the crystal, I didn't quite get.
That was whatever. It's a movie.
Yeah.
So,
fucking,
yeah.
There's magic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's a fucking sorceress.
Your explanation.
Get over it. Maybe, okay, the quartz was enchanted, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, whatever. I don't get caught up on shit like that.
So
that was my favorite sequence. And then actually you could extend it, and when they were fighting in that cave whatever they ended up.
I wrote down Rambo.
Yeah. I really liked the part where there was that it was like a waterfall, only it was sand. And then so The Rock was like, you know, like he grabs the guys through it and shit. Like, that was really fucking cool.
And the guy just starts stabbing through it.
Yeah, and then he comes out and he grabs his fucking feet and shit. Like, that's cool.
It's just fun.
That's awesome. That's a good sequence.
Yeah.
I really liked that part.
Yeah, I like the whole thing. Even the quicksand. You know, it's kind of silly, but cheesy, that's the Mummy universe. Like, that's a thing we've seen before. We've seen the quicksand shit.
Yeah.
I was almost kind of hoping that the fucking Beatles would be in there from the Mummy.
Oh, that would have been a good callback.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that scene was pretty awesome.
Those Beatles in that Mummy film, in the first Mummy film, are fucking cool. I don't care what anyone...
They're in the second one, too, I think.
Are they? Probably.
They get in Jonathan's arm and shit, and Fraser has to cut him out.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I don't like bugs. And, ugh.
My favorite scene is kind of, I don't know, it's close. I love Rock versus Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
I love that scene. I love how they jump into each other and break their swords because they're gigantic men, and they just beat the shit out of each other. Yeah. Like, there's nothing better to me than just two dudes, no weapons, just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Towards the end, they grab the spear and the stick and stuff, but I mean, there's a good portion there where it's
Flaming
just
swords and shit.
Yeah.
At the very end of it.
Yeah. But I mean, there for a few minutes, there's just two gigantic dudes just beating the shit out of each other. I love that.
You know, that goes to a point that I wanted to bring up. This movie probably had a lower budget than like what Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor probably had, and I think it was a benefit because a lot of what you see in this movie is actual stunts, actual people. It's The Rock.
I think there was only maybe like one stunt where you could tell.
Yeah.
It looked like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, it was a lot of like actual physical stunts and people falling through walls and sword fighting and all this cool stuff and like actual horses in an actual desert and actual locations.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a benefit. We see so many Marvel. I'm gonna shit all over Marvel films right now, people. We see so many.
This is what we're about.
Yeah, we see so many fucking Marvel films that are big budget green screen.
Don't talk about our green screen like that.
And it's all fucking fake. It's all fucking CG. And sure, it still looks brilliant. Iron Man costume looks brilliant. But I don't know. You can still tell. You can still tell. And I still like movies like Scorpion King, where it's actual people doing actual stunts with actual props.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Like, this Scorpion King scratches an itch that we're kind of missing in the current climate right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's like, just go fucking... just do it.
Just go beat the shit out of each other.
Go find a location, go get some stuntmen, go do it.
I wonder how that... what do I call it? A business. I wonder how the stuntman business is doing now.
I don't know.
Do you think there's a lot of stuntmen going out of work? No, honey, there's no stunts. Everything's on that there computer.
It's difficult because there's still a lot of big properties. Like, I know Game of Thrones has its share of like CG moments and stuff in it too. But I mean, there's still like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones are still people doing it. And, like, I think there's still enough of a call for it, but
not like it used to.
Not as much. Not as much. You hear Tarantino talk about that too, about how back in the 70s, like, stuntmen used to be famous within like the Hollywood circles for like, here's the best like car chase drivers. So like if you want to do like a car chase, like here's who you would hire, and like there would be like a pool of like 3 or 4 people that did all of the old car chases back then, and how that's just like gone.
Yeah.
That was part of his inspiration for like Death Proof. Was like getting those stunt people back. And yeah.
Oh, I like those movies like, what's that movie you showed me with Serial and District B13 or whatever?
Oh, yeah, District B13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Films like that. And now, I don't know, I'm kind of contradicting myself, but now I kind of see like I talk about Scott Adkins a lot. Scott Adkins is brilliant, but he's always stuntman behind a mask. Mm-hmm. Then in like Expendables 2, like you actually get to see him. He had his own. We need to write this one down, called Ninja. You get to see him in.
I think I have that one.
Ninja is a fantastic movie. Scott Adkins doing his own stunts. Mm-hmm. And then movies like that, with the Kiss of the Dragon guy with Cyril. I mean, I guess there's still stuff there.
There is,
but that's more like a bunch of stuntmen that are like, guys, we don't have work. Let's make our own movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's
like,
not the same.
Like Disney can hire Robert Downey Jr. to stand in front of a green screen.
Right.
And I love him as Iron Man. Boy, we're off on a side tangent. Right now.
No shit.
I love him as Iron Man, but aren't you kind of annoyed where you can tell, like, there are shots where it's just him, and all of a sudden the costume will open up, and he just walks out, and you're like, that's all he's done in this whole...
Oh, and the whole movie.
In the whole movie,
yeah.
It's just him, like, walking in front of a green screen, and you're like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitching when I shouldn't be bitching, but...
That's a thing.
This whole tangent wraps back around to Scorpion King is cool because I like seeing actual stunts done on screen. I think they're more enjoyable. And
I
want to see more of this. And I think the movie benefits from maybe having a lower budget. Can't afford that shit, so what do? We just hire people to do it.
I'll do it for $100.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the mentality.
Yeah.
Those kids that are like, I'll jump over that fence for $20, they grow up to be stuntmen.
Right? Yeah.
I'll jump across that building for $20,000. And then I talked about that scene, but oh man, this is bad. Catch this, and then he shoots the arrow out of it, and he can't catch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That cheesy, like, yeah, just stupid. Mm-hmm. And then kind of the parallel with the Matrix. Dodge this, and then the catch this.
I really like the part at the beginning of the film with the kid where he's standing side by side with the Rock. I'll kill half, you kill half.
I wrote that down. Yeah.
And he was like, I'll kill them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that shit. That's like the Mummy verse.
He's like I know. And
that's like what Fraser brought to it. And it's just that goofiness.
It's The Rock being an action movie star in the making.
Yeah. Showing.
Yeah.
Oh man, just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, in the beginning when he flies through the ceiling or whatever, and he lands down, everybody's staring at him. He just goes, boo.
Yeah.
Just oh my god, it's
a little corny. That's a little corny, but
it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's still cool. I don't know. I wrote down the music. There was a lot of interesting music, and for a moment you hear The Rock's entrance music.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that they did that. I think that'd be awesome in like a Steve Austin movie if they did that. And all of a sudden you just hear glass break.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you just talked about that. I kill half, you kill half. That's funny.
That was a good line. That's maybe my favorite line.
So, kind of piggybacking off my my catch this scene, I love, this is really cheesy, but he pulls his arrow out of his back to use it to shoot him. I think that's badass and awesome.
Yeah.
I really like that. This is just so cool. Mm-hmm. He's human quiver.
Yeah.
I just enjoy that shit a lot. So, do you kind of remember like your first experience? Did you see this in a theater?
No, I didn't see it in theaters. I don't think.
Did this release in theaters? I assume it did.
Yeah, it had to have.
Okay.
I know the later ones have all been straight to DVD, but this one had to have had a theatrical run.
Because I don't remember.
I don't remember when I seen this first. I have no idea.
Excuse me. I wrote down my first experience was probably DVD release. And I want to say it was probably Movie Gallery.
Probably.
Well, no, 2002. I was still in Seattle. Huh.
Because I started there in 2005. Well, I mean, we would have had it in the...
I wasn't even here, though.
How late did you wait to see it?
Right.
Could it have been that long before you just walking down the aisle of the video store and
Maybe.
I'll grab Scorpion King with The Rock because it's $1. I think they were like $1 or $1.99 or something to rent. Old movie.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember this was in my collection, though, of like my first 30 DVDs. Mm-hmm. Scorpion King.
It's weird because I don't have this one on no DVD, no Blu-ray, no...
What?
No, nothing. I've seen
Shame
it.
on you.
I've seen it, but I don't know when.
Weird.
I'm gonna buy it now on Blu-ray.
Yeah, for sure.
Throw it in the collection.
For sure.
There's got to be like a Scorpion King box set.
Yeah. I'm sure there is.
Right? There's no way there's not a $10 Scorpion King 1 through 5 combo pack.
So let's talk about that real quick.
Can we talk about how there's like 8 films in the Mummy franchise now?
In the Scorpion King, there's 4 right now, and they're working on 5.
On a 5th.
On a 5th with I already forgot, but we talked about it last time. Yeah, there's gonna be a 5th one.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And like some actors that we've talked about, like Ron Perlman, Lou Ferrigno were in there.
Yeah.
Who were some of the other ones that we picked out?
I had this funny idea watching this movie that with The Rock being as big as what he is now, what if they did another Scorpion King movie, not a reboot, not a whatever, but what if they just did another one with The Rock?
What if they did a reboot with The Rock?
Or like a reboot,
Yeah.
like a reboot of the Scorpion King with The Rock now.
Yeah.
With like a heft. I know we just talked about how the smaller budget might have helped it, but
Right.
like, what if you amp up the budget a little bit to where you can have more oomph behind it, and fucking did The Rock again as the Scorpion King?
Yeah.
I'm kind of way on board for that.
Yes. At the same time, though, like, it kind of defeats the purpose of the universe, the Mummy universe.
No one cares.
I care.
But you don't care that much.
I don't know.
You don't care enough to where having another fucking, like, big budget Rock Scorpion King movie would hurt any of that.
If anything, it'd probably make people go back and watch The Mummy again.
Yeah. Like, you could still have your original continuity. It's like the Halloween franchise. You could have your original continuity and do a fucking another one that just cuts the rest of that shit out.
X-Men it.
X-Men that shit, yeah. I kind of really want this to happen. It could have a cameo by Brendan Fraser. This is Jeff.
Why couldn't he just...
This is how we get Brendan Fraser back in Hollywood. It all comes full circle. The Rock got to start because Brendan Fraser was really hot, and then Brendan Fraser dies off. The Rock is fucking box office gold, so we put Brendan Fraser back in a movie with The Rock.
That's all Hollywood is. It's just Fraser, Rock, Fraser, Rock.
Yeah, it's one big fucking circle. It comes all back around.
I don't think that's how it works.
I'm gonna tweet this to The Rock. This is a good idea. I need you to cut this segment out for me, Jeff.
Oh my gosh. Rock, do you want to do a reboot of your movie from 16 years ago?
Why wouldn't he be on board for it? He does anything.
He's got other shit going on.
He's like Sam. He don't. Oh, who cares? He's like Sam Jackson. He'll do anything. You know how Sam Jackson's in fucking everything? The Rock is in fucking everything too.
Oh my god. Sam Jackson could be in it.
There you go. Brendan.
Directed by Tarantino.
Yeah. No, not Tarantino. That wouldn't fit. I don't know who would do it.
Now we're talking about making stuff fit.
We got to be serious here with this, Jeff. We can't be Tarantino. He is too busy for this. Who would direct?
Can you imagine that list? Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Django Unchained, Scorpion King reboot. Oh my god. Who would do this? Bryan Singer?
No, that wouldn't fit either.
What?
I don't know. Let me come back to that.
Okay, we'll come back to that. So we talked on that little thing. There is going to be 5 films in the Scorpion King line.
Yeah.
And the whole franchise, Mummyverse, all that stuff. There's, I think we said 9 films. But I kind of want to talk about. I mean, I've touched on it, but how Scorpion King kind of fits in with the Mummy movies. I think it fits in really well. Setting, look, feel of that. Tone, for sure. It just feels like that kind of film. And I think it's interesting that Mummy was 99, best year of cinema. Mummy Returns was 2001. This was 2002. Why, oh why, oh why, we've talked about this on the Mummy episode, why didn't they do Mummy 3 in like 03 or 04? It would have fit in perfectly with this Scorpion King film.
I don't know why it was so late.
Right after this.
It's so confusing the way they waited so long. Let me come out with part 3.
It's interesting how... I bet there was even Scorpion King 2 by then.
Probably.
Before 08.
Probably.
That's upsetting. It's really upsetting. But, like I said, I think The Rock kind of brings that... a word that I overuse, charismatic... boyishness to the role, like Fraser did for the Mummy films. I wonder why they are doing all these sequels. I understand that, like, I'm sure the actors just do them for fun. You know, it's just probably a fun thing to do. I'm doing Scorpion King 3.
Paycheck. At work.
But I think it's interesting that it's continued on this long without The Rock. Like, why do they choose to? I mean, you just kind of said why.
Yeah. And I also kind of wondered, it's interesting So our first introduction as an audience to the Scorpion King is Mummy 2.
Where he's like
He's a CGI fucking
scorpion.
thing with a scorpion. He's kind of the big bad for part of the film.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Origin story, he's good guy. I'm assuming throughout the rest of the movies, the rest of the Scorpion King sequels, he's probably still a good guy.
Yeah. And maybe...
At what point...
Well, is he a bad guy, though? In The Mummy Returns, is he?
He attacks Brendan Fraser.
Because he's our hero doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
You assume, because
You assume,
he's
but what
CG
if,
Scorpion.
but I mean, he was woken up by that other dickhead.
And also, why was he an actual scorpion?
It had to do with, I was going to say Billy Zane.
Now I got you doing it, too.
God damn it.
He fucking looks like Billy Zane, doesn't he?
It has to do with the mummy summoning him, waking him up. I'd be pissed off, too.
Yeah.
You know? I would assume that, like, I'm just making this up, so don't believe a word I say. I would assume that, like, the mythology of the Scorpion King, he is this great ruler, great leader. He leads all these... I assume he leads an army in the later films, whatever he does. When he finally does pass, maybe, like, his afterlife self, the blood of the scorpion will always run through you.
Sure.
And especially with Egyptian mythology, everything has to do with animals. Osiris and blah, blah, from the blank. So I think that's kind of like in the mummy form. And he was just kind of... He was summoned by the bald dickhead, not Billy Zane.
Yeah.
And I think he was just pissed and attacked our hero.
Sure.
I don't think he was really a bad guy, though.
I don't know.
We didn't really get it.
I also was thinking, keeping in mind, I have not seen Scorpion King 2 through 4.
Me either.
So I don't know if this has been answered. I also assume maybe we really don't care to have that answered as to why, because that's kind of stupid. Like, I'll just say it. It's stupid the way they did him in Mummy 2.
Yeah.
With the scorpion body. And
like I said,
that is. I'm just saying that's ultimately a destination that maybe we really don't need to ever. That we really don't ever need to get there.
Right.
So it's funny that the franchise is just like, fuck it. We're really never gonna get to that point.
Right.
I'm assuming.
Who knows?
Because it is the same character. It's been different actors, but it's the same character throughout.
Same character. I think every movie it's a different actor.
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
I don't know.
And I mean,
I'm kind of gonna want to go down this rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, we talked about this with Hellraiser. We're talking about watching the sequels and stuff, but with fucking Scorpion King, we sat here and watched the trailers last night.
Yeah.
And
we did.
We're like, kind of want to watch it.
It could be really good.
Yeah. Maybe everyone's missing out on something.
I remember when I worked at the video store, there was something with like Scorpion King 2, part of the marketing for it, that it was hyped up as like the biggest budget straight to DVD
I've heard you talk about this
movie ever. I don't know if anyone can verify that or whatever, but it was like that was like the hype for it. It was like it's like the biggest budget fucking straight to DVD movie ever.
Woo! Call Guinness.
Which now was like Netflix.
Scorpion King Netflix series. The Rock.
I'm on board. I'm on board for it, man.
Oh my god. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to close out with on the Mummy? On the Scorpion King?
It's way better than what you remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's just overall an enjoyable film.
Of like I mean, you gotta separate like goofy movie mummy verse film with stupid. I can't think of like a stupid scene.
So, I mean, there's a couple cheese ball, corn ball.
Well, even like catch that. Like, that's awesome.
You know, the one that sticks out for me is he puts him in the catapult and launches himself out the window, and there's that pulled back shot where you see the Rock. Like, zoom across the screen. I'm like, That's a little... could have done without that.
Brendan Fraser would do that.
For real. That's why he fucked his back up and couldn't do stunts in the Dragon Emperor movie.
Yeah.
That was really the only moment of the film. I think it holds up incredibly well.
It looks good.
It looks good.
It looks really good.
It does.
Fits right in with the Mummy movies. I can't believe how well it looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks great.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
It's an early good performance from The Rock. You can see he's still... You can see they didn't quite know what to do with him as an actor. So they were like, just do everything you did when you were in wrestling. Like, there's a moment where
People's eyebrow.
Where he raises the eyebrow. There's the moment where he's fighting on top of the building and he does the kick up, which to be fair is badass.
Yeah.
I think The Rock does that in a lot of his movies.
But the Rundown he does that for sure.
Yeah, I think he does. In one of the Fast and the Furious movies, doesn't he do?
Oh, I'm sure.
Doesn't he do?
Against Statham?
Doesn't he do the rock bottom?
Rock bottom against
the rock bottom through the table and the fucking camera tilt.
Dude, I haven't watched wrestling since like 2000, but I still remember all this shit growing up.
Right.
It's amazing.
So you can kind of tell they didn't quite know what to do with The Rock. They had him first. And they didn't quite know.
The Rock first.
They did.
Yeah.
They were like the first people to get a hold of The Rock, and they're like, what do we do? This was them figuring out, and him figuring out how to be an action movie star.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
That's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's way good.
It's better than Dragon Emperor.
Yeah. It's funny. I think when I first suggested it, how you kind of had that like, oh, are we gonna do that? It's funny that you remembered the Mummy Returns scene.
Because like I talked about at the beginning, that's what I think of Scorpion King, and that's an incorrect.
I was really excited though when you texted me. Probably like 15 minutes into the movie, you're already like, this is better than I.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I probably have watched it within the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I've watched it pretty recently compared to a lot of other movies. Yeah, just because it is fun to watch. It's The Rock in his first leading role. You get to see that. Yeah. I like the off actors that kind of counter him. Yeah, I enjoy this movie a lot. It's a lot of fun.
I did too.
So yeah, definitely give it a go. We'll do some trivia, do all that shit, and we'll get out of here. We got this is a lot of trivia.
A lot of trivia for
I've got a lot of trivia about it. I mean, it's The Rock's first leading.
Yeah, I want to look up something while you're talking, so do some trivia.
Okay, all right. So, starting off with trivia. Chow Yun-Fat turned down the role of Memnon. I think that's kind of interesting. Because he doesn't play bad guys, was kind of the reasoning.
Interesting.
Briefly uses The Rock's intro music from WWF.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a prequel to the Mummy films. The DVD includes a 100-minute cut, including deleted, extended, and alternate scenes.
I would like to watch that.
I would like to watch that too. I almost wonder what I watched on Amazon because it was...
Maybe that cut?
Well, it was an hour and a half.
That was what I watched.
So, okay. Well, that would be like another 10 minutes for the 100-minute cut. So there's probably about 10 minutes of deleted, extended scenes and shit. This one's, I think, is really interesting. This is kind of how we talked about The Rock, first leading role. They're taking a shot on him. They took a big shot with The Rock.
Yeah?
The Rock's salary of $5.5 million was, I don't know if it still is or not, it was a Guinness World Record for highest salary for a first-time leading man.
Wow. Wow.
They were taking a fucking gamble.
So what I wanted to look up really quick, this fits in good with this conversation. The movie had a $60 million budget and made $165.3 million. I believe that is just in the U.S.
What?
Domestic. So I don't know what the worldwide total was, but on a $60 million budget, The Rock's first outing, $165.3.
So it made over $100 million.
Would you have thought The Scorpion King?
$165 million?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I would not.
I would have bet like 90.
Yeah. Or like 70.
Yeah, even 70.
70, 90 would have been my range.
Holy shit. $165
I don't think people realize how big the 99 Mummy film was in terms of people liking it and wanting more. And I don't think people realize probably how much hype was behind The Rock even then.
Jesus Christ.
Coming in.
That's way more than I would have guessed.
Yeah. 2002.
2002 made over $100 million.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're still using for the sequels.
Which are probably made for like 20.
Right.
Yeah.
They still got one more to go then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's fucking cool, isn't it?
I would have guessed it high-end 90.
Yeah.
Not 100. I mean, that's fucking good.
People have forgotten how big that 99 film was. I sincerely think
Not
so.
us. 2000, yeah, 2002, I had to look again.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What else you got for trivia?
I'm still mind blown. Vince McMahon, he was listed as an executive producer only because he still owned the rights to The Rock's fighting name.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he's listed as an executive producer.
I wonder if at this point, if he's bought the full rights to The Rock.
I wonder so.
If he owns that or
I think Dwayne Johnson owns it now.
You think so?
Because he gets to use it all the time now.
Yeah.
And I like in Fast and Furious, Vince McMahon is an executive producer.
Yeah, he's got nothing to do with that.
But now, I don't know was WWE Films around back? I think that's a newer
WWE
thing,
Films is
right?
a newer thing, yeah.
Because that was Condemned. Condemned was a WWE film, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. That was 06? 05?
05, because See No Evil. Remember that was the Kane.
Oh my
the
God,
Kane
that's
horror
a
film.
WWE
That was like one of the first ones
Yeah.
that they did.
We should do See No Evil.
do that
I'm going to
one.
write that one
Yeah.
down. I like See No
The
Evil.
John Cena one.
The Marine?
Was that the name of it?
The Marine or 12 Rounds?
What's the one with the Terminator? T-1000.
Yeah, Robert Patrick, that's the Marine.
The Marine?
I've seen a lot of dumb WWE movies.
Because that one's good.
I like the Marine too. Well, I'm going to write that one down
Yeah,
too.
we should do that one.
The Marine. That had a lot of marketing behind it.
Yeah, it did.
I remember being really pumped for that.
That was something I wanted to talk about. John Cena is starting to transition into Hollywood a little bit. Do you think
kind of in a different role?
He is. Do you think he'll have the success of The Rock?
No.
Do you think he can do it?
No.
He's just not as charismatic.
No, not at all. I would much rather hang out with The Rock than John Cena.
Yeah. I think John Cena's cool.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy, but
I don't
much
like
rather
him.
Hang out with The Rock.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. Like, I mean, Cena started out, doing the Marine 12 round stuff like that, but now he's more of a one-note comedy guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What's the movie? Daddy's Home. Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
I haven't seen that
I've
one
talked
yet.
about it before. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
It's a really underrated film that they have together. But there's this big joke at the end. Mark Wahlberg is his biological dad. He comes in, Will Ferrell's stepdad, and Will Ferrell's like, "Oh my God, like he's Mark Wahlberg. He's all muscly and cool." And then you're like, "Well, who's gonna one up this guy?" Because he starts dating her at the end. This guy pulls up on a motorcycle.
Batman. Bruce Wayne.
This guy pulls up on a motorcycle, and anyways, it's John Cena.
Yeah.
So then Mark Wahlberg has to kind of compete with John Cena. So, I mean, that's kind of weird. But I don't know. I like John Cena. I haven't seen that new one, Cock Blockers, yet. That's supposed to be a pretty big thing for him.
Yeah.
But I like Ike Barinholtz, so I'll probably watch it. And that's got Leslie Mann in it.
Okay.
So I'll probably see it eventually.
I don't know. I don't know if he's got quite the
Definitely
pull
not up to The Rock.
Is what The Rock does, but it'll be interesting to see if he is able to fully transition from wrestler into actor. Because at this point, The Rock is an actor.
I was trying to think of a good way to compare them. Like, The Rock is, he's a starting quarterback now, and Cena's like a fourth string receiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I don't know.
I kind of get where you're going.
He's on the team. He's working there. He's getting in reps, but he's not on the team yet, I don't think.
Sure.
He's not starting, for sure.
Like The Rock would be like Russell Wilson.
The Rock is Russell Wilson.
And John Cena is
like Jaron Brown.
I don't even know who that is because I'm a Seahawks fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this trivia. Anyways, this is really interesting. Speaking of comedy, speaking of that, Bill Hader.
Yeah.
He was He was a production assistant. This was his last film that he worked as a production assistant. Before he started SNL, he got on there, and now he's like on everything that Judd Apatow touches. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bill Hader, this was his last film as a production assistant. That's where he started out at.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, who knew? Bill Hader worked on The Scorpion King. He built that where Michael Clark Duncan's hiding out with everybody, trying to avoid Memnon and like that oasis.
Oh, I like that set.
He built that.
That was cool.
He assisted building that.
That was cool.
Bill Hader. That's weird.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting. Some consider this an unofficial adaptation of the Conan stories. You can kind of get that feeling.
Didn't The Rock star in a Conan film?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Yeah. What are you thinking of?
I don't know. I really thought he was in one. He's in so much shit, it's sometimes tough to keep it.
Jason Momoa was in the 2011 Conan.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Which I like that one too, so fight me.
Like Jason Momoa.
So, this is really cool. According to Michael Clark Duncan and The Rock, when they fight, the swords actually broke. That was not on purpose. So when they hit and the thing shatter and they turn their heads and try to cover their eyes, it's because they didn't want all that shit, the shards flying into their face. For real.
That's neat, and they just kept it in the film. They just kept it. Because that's badass.
Yeah. And then they kind of
and then I wonder
changed the script.
I wonder if they improv the script, and then they're like, "We'll have him duke it out." That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
so
that.
I assume they weren't real swords. You know, they're prop
Clearly
swords.
not.
So I'm sure they were made with
There's
some tempered plastic or something.
Yeah, there was
something strong, but broke.
I don't know if it was a goof or whatever, but there was a part where The Rock was laying down and he's got the sword by the handle, and then he grabs a hold of it by the top, like where the blade would be. Like on his arm, and he uses it to hold back someone else fighting him with a sword.
On the table? When he's spinning around?
I think it was later than that in the movie. But I thought that was funny that you probably wouldn't grab a hold of the blade of a sword.
Well, I think he grabbed the back end.
Yeah, no, he grabs it from the front.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. No, I
thought that was a little goof.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We've got one last piece of trivia here. I think it's really funny. During that scene that we're talking about, The Rock actually elbowed Michael Clark Duncan on accident. He elbowed him in the face, and he felt really bad. Michael Clark Duncan went to the makeup trailer because he got hit in the face, so he wanted to make sure everything was fine. He had them stuff his mouth with cotton, so it looked like he had a big swollen jaw.
Yeah.
When he came back, and I guess The Rock felt terrible, and he was getting all worked up, and nope, just goofing. Michael Clark Duncan pulled a fast one.
That's awesome.
I think that was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'd rather hang out with Michael Clark Duncan rather than John Cena as well.
Well,
for sure.
Yep.
So that's all the trivia I got for Scorpion King. That was quite a bit of trivia for when you think of Scorpion King. I think a lot of people think automatically about that. They think automatically about the straight to DVD sequels. Mm-hmm. They kind of forget the Rock Scorpion King film.
And the bank that it did at the box office.
I had no idea. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That
Don't think about that.
Ridiculous. I wonder why he wouldn't want to. The Rock doesn't do sequels yet.
Yeah. Can we talk about what we're doing next?
Yeah. What do you want to do next?
Are we gonna do Doom?
Oh yeah.
We kicked around doing Doom.
We kind of talked about. I wanted to talk more about more early Rock stuff.
I think maybe that would be a good movie.
Because I think the year after this was The Rundown, and then he did Doom, Walking Tall. Yeah, I'll bet you $1. Okay, ready?
You think so?
Yep, here it goes. So Scorpion King, The Rundown, 2003. Doom, 2005. Shit, I forgot what I just said. What was after Doom?
The Rundown?
No, The Rundown's after Scorpion King. Okay, let's see how many I can get right. Tell me when you're at.
I scrolled back and it's in WWF pay-per-view.
Oh my god!
I went too far.
So Scorpion King, start there.
So this is going to be a little confusing.
I don't want to see it.
The Scorpion King is in 2002.
Rundown 03.
Rundown is 2003.
Doom 05.
No, Walking Tall was 2004.
Oh, it was?
Walking Tall is 2004.
And then Doom was 05.
Doom is 2005.
Be
Cool with No One Talks About Be Cool.
Yeah, John Travolta. And then after that was Gridiron Gang.
Gridiron Gang is 06.
Yeah. Where does it really take off, though?
Well, that's kind of what I'm looking. There's some shit like
interesting.
Witch Mountain is 09, no one gives a shit. Tooth Fairy is 010, no one gives a shit.
Faster.
That
was one of the more dramatic roles I wanted to talk about. And then Fast 5,
Fast 5, I mean, he shows up in 2011 in Fast 5.
And now he's everywhere.
I mean...
That's funny that he did Journey 2. That took over from Brandon Fraser.
I'm telling you, man.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
Okay, Snitch, right there, Snitch. 2013?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we start going. We got Snitch, Pain and Gain, G.I. Joe, Fast and the Furious. That's all 1 year. That's all 2013.
He was still doing WWE stuff?
Hercules, that's the movie I was thinking of, not Conan.
Oh, okay.
Hercules in 2014. San Andreas.
Yeah. There's a lot of films on here that did well that I don't really care for.
There's a lot of stuff that...
Like Central Intelligence, I think it did well. I didn't really care for it. Wasn't my forte. Doc Strange. Oh, Doc Savage.
What? Oh my god. Jack Burton,
I don't like
Big
that.
Trouble Little China.
I don't like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a movie that you can redo again. That's a weird fucking film.
And especially...
without it being a weird fucking film, it's not Big Trouble Little China.
And
I don't know.
How do you take somebody and put them in the position of Kurt Russell?
Jack Burton is also not really the hero of that film.
Right.
He's just a guy who's...
He's your perspective.
He's just a guy who's there.
Yeah.
That's not Jack Burton's story.
That's not The Rock.
Yeah. It's also John Carpenter. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think that's doable. But Snitch, 2013 Snitch.
I've never seen Snitch.
Snitch is the role that I think he really protrudes that dramatic acting chops.
Yeah.
John Bernthal is like this ex-convict who's trying to turn his life around.
Punisher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts working at The Rock's. The Rock's like a business owner. He has this big thing. He ships out stuff. And then what happens?
He snitches on someone.
The Rock's son gets imprisoned because he had drugs delivered to his house. He says he didn't know about it, but him and his friends are trying to do this drug thing. His friends more coercing him into it, so you kind of feel bad for the kid. So he gets imprisoned, and The Rock works out this thing with, like, I think it's the DA, that, like, if you can, you know, turn in these people or find, you know, somebody to turn in, we can lessen his sentence to only a couple of years to a misdemeanor or whatever. So to get into that world, The Rock asks John Bernthal, can you introduce me to some people, you know, kind of get me involved. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He doesn't want to backtrack. Ends up, you know, this big, long thing, trying to find a dealer, trying to find drugs, Rock wants to work his way up to this kingpin and turn him in so he can get, you know, his son back. Very good movie, very well acted. John Bernthal, of course, like you just said, is amazing. Yeah. But The Rock, he has some good scenes in that. That really, he's not just a big hunk action hero.
He's not like, just doing people's eyebrows.
Yeah, he's like acting. And Snitch is fantastic. I really like
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put that one on my radar.
That was my 3-minute bad iteration of it, but definitely give Snitch a look. You got anything? So we're doing Doom.
We're going to force ourselves to watch Doom.
I like Doom.
Yeah.
I don't mind Doom at all.
Like I said,
I love
Carl Urban.
I love the scene in there where Carl Urban goes into that first
That
person
first person sequence is, I think.
I love that sequence. Very good. Sam.
It can't possibly be as bad as what everyone remembers it being, can it?
I don't think so.
It can't be.
I don't think so. Joe Chill is in there.
Oh, cool.
Pinky is somebody. Who's Pinky? The guy in the wheelchair. Damn it, he's somebody. Yeah, there's a lot of good actors in there, though. I'm kind of excited to rewatch that. So we're going to watch Doom. You got anything you want to plug in? Anything you want to talk about for the Scorpion King? Anything you're doing? Twitter, bullshit, anything like that?
Phantasm Digital, that's the name of my photography website. You fine folks can check it out. I'm always adding new stuff to it. I got all kinds of photos and digital pieces and whatnot. So, yeah, that's a good place to start.
Yeah. I would just say Facebook, of course, Shut Up I Like This. Twitter, Shut Up I Like This. Check out Indie Gamer on Facebook. I'm just sticking with the Facebook. I don't really need a Twitter.
Yeah.
So check that out. You can find the first issue on there for sale. First issue comes out, what month is it? August? So the next issue comes out September 1st.
Cool.
Coming up a lot quicker than it feels. So follow us on Facebook. Pantheon Network, I got to start working on it.
Yes, you do.
My internet.
You gotta have internet, though.
Yeah, internet went out 4 days ago. Still fucking with me, so haven't really been able to do too much on that.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it's been a pain in the ass. So Pantheon Network, still working on that, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Next week, Doom. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Shut Up I Like This, and we will see you next week for another rock movie.
Yeah.
Here we go. Talk to you later.